Garage Comedian.
It's a beautiful day for a joke.
And now it's time for Garage Comedian News.
That's real news.
Hello and welcome back to the Garage Comedian News. I'm the Garage Comedian. But then, we already know each other, don't we?
They know I know them, and they know me.
Yeah, what he said. The second and final presidential debate took place this past Thursday. Some key takeaways. Trump proclaimed himself non-racist and even added,
Nobody has done more for the black community than Donald Trump.
"Nice touch, Donald, going all third person on us, just like Jimmy did with Elaine."
Jimmy is pretty sweet on you.
Trump even likened himself to a modern-day Abe Lincoln.
With the exception of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception of Abraham Lincoln, nobody has done what I've done.
Just what I always wanted, to be held in the same esteem as Donald Trump. Someone shoot me. Oh, wait.
Trump will say just about anything and believes most Americans will lap it up with a small bit of coaxing.
They're like a vacuum cleaner.
Suck.
You gotta talk them into it, Joe.
At one point, Biden, not wanting to be excluded from the third-person club, declared,
He's running against Joe Biden.
"Hey, thanks for clearing that one up for us, Joe." How do we get down to these two candidates anyway? It's kind of like going out to a five-star restaurant and only being able to order a PB&J or chicken nugget meal. What about the filet or the surf and turf? Oh, Americans don't get those options. Of course not. An Albuquerque man stole a Biden-Harris sign from a family's front lawn in the middle of the night. That in itself is not particularly newsworthy. However, the fact the man was buck naked during the theft is gross. We can't unsee that. The only naked gun I want to see involves Officer Frank Drebin.
I want a world where the Democrats will put somebody up there worth voting for.
That's a fair ask, Frank. Biden's certainly no JFK. I mean, how can he be? JFK was a 43-year-old man when he was elected president. Biden's more like Papa Smurf. But it's down to him and the Making America Hate Again guy. We're just voting for who will screw the country up the least at this point.
I realize that now.
I guess I'll take the chicken nugget meal. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Our nation turns its lonely eyes to you. For the first time since it premiered in 1966, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown won't be broadcast on national TV. Instead, Apple TV will now exclusively stream the Peanuts special. I think apples and peanuts go swimmingly together. Yum, yum. No good grease from this guy. It had a good run. For context, Biden was in his mid-20s when the special debuted, and its 54 consecutive years on network television run was just too shy of Joltin' Joe's 56-game hit streak back in 1941. Not too shabby. By the way, today's National Pumpkin Day, so go grab a big-ass knife and start carving. I wonder what a pumpkin would say if it could speak.
Why?
Why? Why do we carve you up? That's just how we get our kicks. That's why. And keeping with our cutting things up theme, the fried chicken restaurant Birdsong in San Francisco launched a takeout service called Bird Box, which sells chicken sandwiches, complete with the chicken claw still attached. They wanted to emphasize how they buy the entire chicken and don't just purchase cookie cutter pieces. Okay, but there are other ways you can communicate this message, like, oh, I don't know, a sign? I'd prefer not to be giving my meal a high 4 before eating it. Though I guess it could be worse. It could still have the head attached.
It's smiling at me.
A Christmas Story. Classic. America's favorite dad turned sex offender Bill Cosby can be seen wearing a creepy smile in his latest mugshot. That is kind of creepy. Some are viewing Cosby's smile as confirmation that he's not learned anything, that he's not remorseful or contrite. But what people didn't realize is that Inmate Picture Day this year happened to coincide with Jell-O Pudding Day. Give anyone a shot of Jell-O pudding and then step back and watch the Happy Time show.
I love me some pudding!
Told ya. And finally tonight in my parting shot, we talk about the illusion of choice. Election Day is just 8 days away, and more than 50 million ballots have already been cast. Way to get out there and vote often and early, America. Of course, your vote for president is just symbolic in nature with the Electoral College in place to elect our next commander-in-chief. Voting for the highest office in our country for you and I is basically a farce. It's just window dressing to fill out the little bubble. It's like when my mom would ask my brother and me what we'd like for dinner. McDonald's or Burger King? McDonald's, we'd cry out. Tough shit, we're getting Burger King, she'd say. In that example, my brother and I were the popular vote, while my mom served as the Electoral College. There have been 5 U.S. elections in which the successful presidential candidate did not win the popular vote. In the 21st century alone, we've seen it twice already, with Gore over Bush, that was back in 2000, and then Clinton last time around versus Trump. She took the popular vote by 3 million votes. In 1969, Democrats and Republicans actually came together to get rid of the Electoral College. President Nixon supported pushing Congress to abolish it, citing that a direct election of the president being settled by the popular vote would give each American citizen an equal vote. The amendment was eventually killed in the Senate by a group of Southern senators concerned that states with larger populations would dominate elections. However, there are arguments that states with smaller populations are overrepresented by the Electoral College because each state gets at least 3 electors regardless of population size. A recent Gallup poll showed 61% of Americans support abolishing the Electoral College in favor of the popular vote. However, given an amendment to dissolve the Electoral College is not likely, I champion the Interstate Compact.
What is the Interstate Compact?
That's a great question, kid. Check's in the mail. The Interstate Compact, which has been signed by 15 states and the District of Columbia, which together control 196 electoral votes, is a compact which pledges to grant their electoral votes to the winner of the popular vote. Now we're talking. However, the local state laws would only take effect once the compact has enough states signed to total 270 electoral votes, so we've still got a ways to go. Until that day, I guess I'll just continue to keep filling in my little McDonald's bubble in hopes that it doesn't get flipped to Burger King. And who knows, maybe, just maybe someday, you can truly have it your way.
I'm voting for cats.
What?
I'm voting for cats.
That would certainly be something. That cat would go down in history. See what I did there? In order to get into office, that cat would have to be very persuasive. I trilled my R's. My 6th grade Spanish teacher would be muy impressed. Well, that's all the time I have. Until next time, I'm the Garage Comedian, and remember, it's always a beautiful day for a joke.
What is the Interstate Compact?
I love pudding.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more funny videos like this, click the subscribe button. The more you know.